So today's lesson is going to teach you what to do in order to complete your research notes for your poetry research essay. We're going to talk first about what not to do, and then I'm going to guide you through how to approach your research for this essay. So in order to talk about what not to do, we're first going to look at the essay assignment. And so right here it says use only professional sources. Be especially careful of the following. So there's a long list of the following, but the thing I really want us to talk about are study sites and books, as well as paper mills, and then student essays online. Okay, you're going to easily find plenty of information about your poet and poem online, but if you go to some of these sources, you're going to fall into the trap of plagiarism. So you are going to be analyzing the poem on your own. That means you are going to analyze, see in paragraph 3, you're going to be analyzing the poem's theme on your own. So you're not going to do a Google search of what is the theme of insert poem title. You're going to also be analyzing the poem structure on its own. So you're not going to do a Google search of what is the structure of insert poem title. And you're also going to be analyzing the literary devices on your own. So you don't want to do a Google search of what are the literary devices in insert poem. The reason you want to avoid these and doing these searches, it might be easy and tempting, but this is going to cause you to fall into traps of plagiarism. You can analyze this poem on your own. So like I said, I'm going to pretend for mine that I'm writing my essay on being brought from Africa to America by Phyllis Wheatley. So I am not going to do this. I am not going to Google search on being brought from Africa to America analysis. It's going to come up with plenty of websites like Lit Charts, Poem Analysis, okay, Allocation, Schmoop. These are all common, literary-devices.net, common websites that they've done the work for you already, but they are going to trap you into plagiarism. Remember, you're analyzing it on your own. So I'm not going to be getting my information from these websites. Additionally, I'm not going to do a search on what the theme is. Do not do this, okay? This is going to push you into the trap of plagiarism, okay? Instead, I'm going to focus my research on answering these questions, and it's going to help me and guide me. So let's look back at, before we talk about these questions, the essay instructions. So you must have no fewer than 4 professional outside sources, so you have to have at least 4, not including your primary source, which is your poem. So you'll have 5 total sources on your essay. You'll cite your poem and then these 4 additional professional sources. And we're going to find these professional sources on the databases, and I'll show you how to access those. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use Google. What I'm going to do is I am going to get rid of that search, and I'm going to do library.kilgore.edu, and this will bring you to the Kilgore College Library website. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on databases, and you'll see right here that there are 4 boxes to fill out. That means you have to have 4 sources, like your instructions. So I'm going to be looking for information to fill out these 4 sections, okay? And I'm going to be trying to answer the questions, how does the author's background tie into the poem's subject or theme? That's the research I'm going to be doing, so that would help me with my paragraph on theme. How does the time period that the poem was written influence the poem? That also might help me with my paragraph on theme. And then what was the poet's style of writing? Were they a part of any literary movements, okay? The reason why I want to be able to answer these questions is because I might use my information from my research in various different parts of my essay. Let's go look back at the instructions one more time. So, for example, paragraph 2 is going to be primarily about the poet. This is where you're going to put most of your research about the poet's life, the historical period and social context in which the poem was written, okay? Or the historical events in the poems that can relate to the poem and its themes, okay? So I know that my poem on being brought from Africa to America is about slavery. So it would be important to have some research and information about how my author, Phyllis Wheatley, was a slave herself. I wouldn't put in here that Phyllis Wheatley's favorite color is purple, because that doesn't relate to the poem that I'm talking about. So I want to make sure all the information that I include in this section right here about my poet connects to my poem. The other place you might use your research is when you are talking about the theme. So in our poem On Being Brought from Africa to America, our theme heavily has to do with oppression and slavery, and the fact that these people should not be stripped from their homeland, okay? So there I would put information about the time period because that relates well to my theme. And then also you might include some of your research information about the physical structure, because if we look at this question right here, it says, what was the poet's style of writing? Were they a part of any literary movements? This research might help us with the paragraph on structure. So let me go now and tell you how we do our research. So I'm going to go to the library website, and let me go back real quick to show you where I'm at. So I'm going to click on databases A to Z, and then from there I'm going to click search databases by title A to Z. And once I'm there, I'm going to click on B, which is going to take us to biography. That's the database we want to start out with. So I'm going to click on biography, and I am going to search my poet, Phyllis Wheatley. Okay. And it's going to immediately take you to a page that has like quick facts, but I want to click on read more, and this is going to take me to a full article about my poet, Phyllis Wheatley. So I would read this and look for important information that might help me with my essay. And if I just skim it real quick, like I had not looked at this before I was telling y'all about this, I see right here that it says carefully executed iambic pentameter couplets were a commonly used verse of that era. Okay? Well, right there, that tells me about structure in and of itself. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put important quotes. I'm going to put, let's see, there we go, that important quote. And I'm going to make note that I'm going to put first quote, potentially use in structure paragraph. Okay, so already I'm finding information that I can use. Now, what I want you to do before you actually look for quotes is I want you to do a summary of the source where you're putting any important information from the source. This can just be in bullet points in your own words, and then you'll go through and you'll add in quotes as well. So that might be one piece of information I use from this source. And anytime I find information that I'm going to use from a source, I need to make sure that I'm documenting it well. So I'm going to do two things. The first thing I'm going to do, so I know I'm going to use information from this source, I'm going to click send to. So let me do that again real quick. So I'm going to click send to, and I'm going to click email. Okay, and once I do that, I'm going to put in my email. And you can put who it's from, but you don't necessarily have to. You don't have to put a message or anything. And I'm going to leave it on full text, and I'm going to email this to myself. Okay, and the reason why I'm going to do that is because if I ever need to look back at this source, I want to know exactly how to get to it without having to start the research process all over again. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to click right here where it says cite, and I'm going to copy this right here. And this is going to be what I put on my MLA Works Cited page. So that's extremely important to know where my source comes from, because we have to give credit for where these quotes come from. So I'm going to do that. Now, I can include other quotes from this source if I would like, or I can look for information from other places as well. And so a good way, remember we have to have 4 sources, so a good way to find additional sources about my poet is if I look right here, it's going to say explore, and there's going to be related articles. Sometimes it's not on the side, sometimes you have to scroll all the way down. There's a lot of information in this. So sometimes you have to scroll all the way down, but you're going to see that there are more sources like this, more related articles. So I might go in and I might explore this other, this other source. Okay, so then that can give me 2 sources as well. So I'm going to look here, see if there's any good information that I think might be beneficial in order to help me understand my poem. And so I'm going to look at this source and see if there's anything there that might help me out. So let's see. I'm just doing a brief little scan through. I'm really not seeing a lot of stuff that I like on this one, so I might click on another one and see if I can find any more information. All right, this definitely would be beneficial. When she was about 8 years old, she was kidnapped and forced into slavery. So I can take this. Remember, this is a new source, so I'm going to go to another box. I'm going to put my quote in there. Okay, and then I might use this either, and we have to put quotes around it. So I might either use this, so theme paragraph might be where I use this, or author's background paragraph. Okay, so I might use it in either of those places. Now I'm going to go back to the databases and cite my source. Always make sure you do that. That's super important. We need to know where we're getting it from. I would also send myself this source like I did before. I would email it to myself so I have it. But biography is not the only database that you can use. If I look right here, we know that she was alive between 1753 and 1784, and we know that she was an American poet. So what I might also do as well is I might look at some history databases. So I'd go back to the library website, click on databases, search databases A to Z, and I'm going to click on U this time, and this time I'm going to go to U.S. History Gale in Context. Okay, and so I already know that my poem is about slavery, so I might search slavery in the U.S. in 1750. Okay, so that might be a good search to do, and I can look at different, see if there's any articles that might help me. All right, right here, slavery and African American religion, that might be beneficial to me. So I can look and see if anything helps me there. I might just search the United, if I can spell United States 1750. Okay, and find information about that time period as well. You may or may not find anything in this history database by just searching the year, but you can definitely find some things about like what's going on in the time period. Like I said, that first search about, let's go back to that one. We're going to do slavery in the U.S. during the 1700s. And we're going to look at my various different sources, see if I can find anything right here. So like right here, slavery in the American South. I might find information here that helps me in order to understand Phyllis Wheatley's poem as well. So you can look at the history database to help you out as well if you need to. And in order to do that, you need to know where your poet's from. You do U.S. history if they're an American poet, and you can switch to world history if they are not an American poet. So you can just do that switch right here. So like I said, be looking at the time period as well as the information about the poet. And so your goal, like I said, is to make sure that with your research, you can answer these questions. If you can't, you need to do some more research. I just put one quote. I did the bare minimum here just to show you. You need to be doing a lot more. You need to be adding that source summary. You need to put multiple quotes because you need to have enough information from 4 sources, and you're going to be writing, yep, see, there's 4 boxes you are going to fill out. You're going to be writing your whole research essay using this information. So definitely do more than you think necessary because this is going to help you with the next step of your essay.